The UN Climate Summit has finally come to an end, with an agreement on how to tackle global warming and a historic loss and damage fund. This deal covers funding arrangements for loss and damage from the climate disasters in vulnerable countries. However, there are more contentious issues regarding the fund. They have been pushed into talks to be held next year. The fund would at first draw on the contributions from rich countries and other private and public sources. Now, China, which is considered to be an emerging economy, is not initially required to contribute. However, that option will be open to changes in the coming years.
I now invite the COP to adopt the decision entitled Funding Arrangements for Responding to Loss and Damage Associated with the Adverse Effects of Climate Change, including focus on addressing loss and damage, contained in document FCCC/CP/2022/L18, FCCC/PA/CMA/2022/L20.
UN Chief Antonio Guterres welcomed the fund for loss, but said that the world still needs a giant leap on climate ambition.
Let's be clear. Our planet is still in the emergency room. We need to drastically reduce emissions now, and this is an issue this COP did not address. A fund for loss and damage is essential, but it's not an answer if the climate crisis washes a small island state off the map or turns an entire African country to desert. The world still needs a giant leap on climate ambition.
The summit has also left some disappointed over a failure to push further on cutting emissions. Ani Dasgupta, the head of the World Resources Institute, said that he welcomed the deployment of renewable energy, adding that it was astonishing that countries did not muster the courage to call for cut down on fossil fuels. Moreover, a proposal made by India to phase down the usage of all fossil fuels and not just on coal. That was supported by European Union and many other countries has been left out of the deal. Meanwhile, France has come out and said that it regretted that there was a lack of ambition in the agreement reached at the summit. According to the country's energy minister, no progress was made on making additional efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And the same was reiterated by Germany's Foreign Minister, Annalena Baerbock. Now, she was frustrated that the emissions cut and fossil fuel phase-out were stonewalled by a number of large emitters and oil producers.
It is not an end in itself.
And now for more on this, we are being joined live by Sherry Goodman, the Secretary General for International Military Council on Climate and Security from Washington, D.C. Thank you for being with us on this broadcast. Now, the COP27 Summit has concluded a historic deal on the Loss and Damage Fund. How much of an achievement is this deal?
Well, this is a real breakthrough because never before at a COP have the parties agreed to such a fund. Now, the money still has to get there, and I think we're still a long way from that. But it is an important breakthrough conceptually.
Right. And Sherry, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said that this summit has not gone far enough in implementing effective initiatives for tackling climate change. What are your thoughts on his comments?
Well, he's absolutely right, because the parties did not agree to a phase out of fossil fuels. And we can only reduce global temperatures if we really begin to phase out fossil fuels and make that clean energy transition. So we have to bring down global temperatures and the effects of sea level rise through mitigation by changing our energy mix. And at the same time, we have to adapt and become more resilient. The Loss and Damage Fund is intended in part to do that. We have to be able to walk and chew gum. We have to tackle both parts of the climate crisis at the same time. Mitigation on the one hand through reducing our emissions, and then adaptation and resilience on the other hand.
Absolutely. Sherry, thank you so much for being with us on this broadcast and your insights there.
Pleasure to be with you.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.